Tryson's going to have to lock all the nuts up against those rod ends and make sure that spoiler doesn't lie down any more than it's supposed to. All this is done without the driver in the car, and that's slowing this process down just a bit. Mike?
Thanks, Dick. On the speedway, Darrell Waltrip from Franklin, Tennessee, the three-time Winston Cup champion, embarking on what he describes as his 2000 victory tour, his final season in Winston Cup racing. In 780 starts, he has 84 wins, 59 poles, and a total of 112 front row starts. That's about 1 out of every 7 races in his career. This being Darrell's final season, he's come up with that particular name for it. We asked him about that and about his outlook for 2000.
Darrell Waltrip Victory Tour. That's the name of it, Victory Tour 2000. And I believe, there's a lot of people that would disagree, but I believe we can do it. We've got Yates engines this year, which are a lot better than I had last year. My team is a year old. We've worked real hard on our pit crew. We've revamped that. We got better pit crew. The new Taurus, the 2000 Taurus, I believe is a little bit better car than what we had last year. So all in all, I believe we'll have a pretty good year. I believe we'll be competitive, and I believe Martinsville, Bristol, Pocono, Michigan, someplace like that, we might surprise some people.
Wouldn't surprise me any. I've raced against him, and I tell you, there's a lot of talent there. A lot of people says, that he's lost it, but when he drove the one car for Steve Park when he's injured, he was right up front. He had several top 10 finishes, so he's not washed up. He's just going to quit.
He believes he can do it, and that's the most important part. Darrell Waltrip times in 32nd fastest on his first lap, 186.193.
Lost his dad a few weeks ago. One of the real popular persons in the sport of auto racing after he retired from his job, Leroy Waltrip.
Fellow who was very proud of his two sons' accomplishments in racing and didn't hesitate to let you know it.
No, that's the truth.
A great fellow to be around.
Certainly was. Well, picked it up on his second lap as he went into turn 3. So let's see if he can get himself up there about 188 or somewhere in that neighborhood.
The 1981, 82, and 85 Winston Cup champion, Darrell Waltrip, moves from 32nd on the board up to 24th, 180.
Stay with us for that. We are running a little bit long because we had a rain delay and then an oil down and so on. But WCW coming up next here on Superstation TVS. Now, Junior getting seated at the office chair. And Darrell Waltrip on the racetrack now to qualify for his final Coca-Cola 600. DW retiring at the end of the season. Waltrip, a 5-time 600 winner, looking to make his 28th start in this great race.
And the last time he was on the pole here, 1981.
See by our trap times, Darrell not completely up to pace. Wow, that car's jittering all over the place on it.
That's a very soft chassis there. You can see the car really wobbling around up in the groove there in the middle part of the racetrack.
Checkered flag for DW. Top 25 for DW, not today. He will not make the cut. 1.1 seconds off the pole time. And for Darrell, 178.0.
And so next down is going to be Darrell Waltrip. Two-time pole sitter here at Talladega and a 4-time winner. Most recent victory here came back in August of 1982. Down to Jerry Punt.
Kyle Petty climbing into Hot Wheels Pontiac here, and Kyle was talking to some of the NASCAR people about qualifying here. Let me get a quick comment here with Kyle if we can. Kyle, obviously a lot of concern about the dim light, but you had a solution a moment ago.
I didn't have a solution. Terry Labonte had the solution that we take the ESPN helicopter and put a searchlight on it, and just like when you're watching cops at home on TV and they follow those guys running through everybody's backyard, they can just follow us around the racetrack.
That'll work. So we'll try to get a light. You want a spotlight in front of you? Now, what happens if the guy sneezes and turns to the right a little bit?
That could be a problem. But let me tell you something. Remember when they stole the pace car down here? We could get this on cops if we want to do it.
Kyle Petty, obviously very serious about what's about to happen, but they're trying to keep the levity a little bit when they're trying to get as many cars qualified as possible.
Well, it's getting darker and darker, and I'm not sure that we're going to be able to get everybody in. Again, it's much darker than it indicates on our cameras.
I know Darrell Waltrip has raced when it was this dark because about 20 years ago, Darrell Waltrip and I did a Goodyear tire test down here. We drafted at 194 miles per hour, and it was pitch black. I mean, all you could see was a car in front of you. If he had lost an engine or anything else, there's no way I could possibly have seen it.
Why did you do that?
I don't know. I've often wondered why we did that.
All right, here comes Waltrip down to complete lap number 1. Jeff Gordon remains on the bubble down there in 25th position, and lap number 1 for Waltrip drops down to 37th. And they've sent the next car out, so we are indeed moving ahead with a pace. And there's the chopper that Kyle needs with a light on it.
That's not our chopper, but that is a chopper. Darrell's car extremely slow on that first lap.
Started 38 and finished 26th here at Talladega last year. See if he can get into the top 25 here for Sunday's Die Hard 500. Checkered flag drops. And the 37th qualifier is in, and Waltrip on lap number 2. Still waiting.
It's probably so dark the light couldn't. Oh, there we go.
It is. Well, it's faster, but not much of an improvement. He is the 36th best.
At 52.601, 182.
We found that we want to keep the driver's head supported, but by adding bigger supports there, we were taking some vision away from him. And I don't know what kind of seat that is that Johnny's sitting in. But what they've done is just put a little piece of aluminum there to slow his head down if he were to get up against the wall, but allow him to have the vision.
Good point. Here is Darrell Waltrip, who must make this race on speed. He cannot use a provisional. His best start here came in 1997 when he lined up on the outside of the second row. His best finish was in 94 when he came home 6th.
Ray was told on the headset that Randy LaJoy made that seat that we saw in Johnny Benson's car there just a moment ago.
And as a lot of people know, Randy LaJoy was a very successful multiple champion Busch driver, so he knows a lot about what it takes to have a good, safe seat in a race car. And I know Randy's going into the seat business, and a lot of guys are now starting to switch over. Randy's seat is completely different than a traditional NASCAR seat.
Oh, DW's got a great lap going. That arrow would indicate about where we estimate he would be. Somewhere around 2nd, 4th. Can he jump it up a little bit? Oh, he did it! Oh, look at this! DW. 49.745 average speed, 180.923. Oh, DW be dancing the jig when he gets it.
Racetrack is Darrell Waltrip, who has won twice here at Michigan Speedway in 1977 and 84, and won the pole here in June of 81. Darrell is among the drivers who are out of provisional, so he must get into the starting lineup by way of his qualifying speed. There's the best and the slowest as far as the top 25. Range from 191.149 to 187.427. And here is Darrell Waltrip in front of a large crowd and a huge applause taking the green flag.
Darrell took her down in the corner. Boys, he probably took a breath about right here. He's been holding his breath all the way through that corner, trying to get the car back under control. Now, once again, another corner coming up. Got to hold my breath again. Oh, turn that wheel, Darrell. There you go. See those hands working in there. Comes off the corner. Did he do it, Bob? Did not run exceptionally good lap in practice. Watch this qualifying lap.
And is it in the top 25? No.
35th best. 38.623, 186.417.
93 and 96, so I'm sure he wants to improve on what he's doing here at Dover Downs.
Well, here's a car that Todd Bodine is going to be driving again. What do you think about Todd Bodine moving back to Winston Cup Racing and teaming with Jimmy Spencer?
Tremendous amount of talent, and I know that a lot of people are sorry to see Darrell Waltrip move out of the cockpit, but he's going to bring a lot to the audience as far as television is concerned. And, you know, he's done it all. 84 wins, several championships. He has nothing to prove, and it'd be nice to see him move up, and I think he'll bring a lot to the sport next year as a commentator.
I also hope that it works out to be a good ride for Todd. I think he could arguably be one of the best of the Bodine brothers.
He's been good for 4 or 5 years, just didn't have the opportunity.
As good as Jeffrey and Brett are, a lot of people seem to think that given a good chance, Todd might even be better. Currently listed 15th, Darrell Waltrip, his final ever.
Stuck to our game plan, and Frank did a great job. He made some calls on the car, and just real proud of that lap.
What was the game plan?
The game plan was we came here and tested, and we had a great test, and really liked what we had. And we said we were going to come here and just fine-tune on that. We were fast the whole time. We ran slower on new tires. We ran on old tires. So I was throwing stuff and mad, and Frank pulled me aside and said, just calm down. We're going to stick to our plan. Everything will be okay. And he made a bunch of changes and, little changes here and there, and it worked out.
Okay, we'll see if it stands up. Good luck.
Thank you.
Jeff Burton on the provisional pole. Here is Darrell Waltrip, who has 7 pole positions here at Richmond and 6 victories. His most recent pole came in February of 1985. Lap number 1 for Darrell Waltrip is in the top 25, 22nd.
Well, that bumps the 97 car of Chad Little. So far, the 44 Steve Grissom and Chad Little have been bumped. Terry Labonte is now the car on the bubble. And DW, can he pick it up on that second lap? First lap was a 21.89. This lap is, no, a little slower. So 21.893, 123.
Earlier in the week, and I expected just to come in here and try to make top 25.
Good luck this weekend.
Thanks a lot.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. with an outstanding lap. Jerry Nadeau jumps in the second, and we move over to Dr. Punch.
And the defending winner of this race, Jeff Burton, waits his turn to qualify. Jeff, 31.35 is going to be tough to beat.
I don't think anybody will beat that. That's really fast. Those guys are doing a good job. They learned a lot in the Busch Series that we watched them doing it, and then over the last couple of years we haven't been able to do it, but the stuff they're doing works really well.
You made some changes late in your session, which made your car a whole lot better. You moved up on the speed chart.
We did. The thing that everybody fights here is everybody has trouble getting turned in the middle of the corner. It seems like everybody's tight. We finally found something that seemed to help it. Put a little bit more to it, hoping that was the right thing to do. We may have gone too far, but if we did, we did. We were 11th fastest, which wasn't bad, but if you slow down any here, you'll go all the way to 30th fastest. So the field's so tight, we need to pick up some.
And good luck in qualifying. DW on the track, guys, for his final trip to Vegas on the Victory Tour.
That lap by Jerry Nadeau was a good one also, just missing breaking the previous track record by 1/1000th of a second. Now here's Darrell Waltrip, who turns in the 5th fastest.
32.279, 167.291 for Darrell.
39 through their times. Jeremy Mayfield is still the fastest of them. Darrell Waltrip, you see there, coming out onto the speedway, starting his warm-up lap. DW making what would be his final qualifying effort here this weekend in Charlotte, looking for his 55th career start here at this mile-and-a-half track. While we were away in the break, Rick Mast ran what is now the 2nd fastest lap at a 29.268, pushed Rusty Wallace back to 3rd. Andy Houston also ran. He is the slowest of the 4 cars that have run. Andy W. is on the clock.
Yeah, and you see the line that he's running very, very close to the white line around the bottom part of the track. The car looks good.
While we watch Darrell Waltrip's run, let's go hear from the man who's fastest so far. Marty Snyder's with him.
Well, Jeremy, we asked you before, was it a disadvantage to go early? You picked up 1/10 of a second, so perhaps not.
I don't think so. That's all we can do, and I'm sure to get cooler and, the guys pick up a little bit more, but I'm just proud of the Mobil 1 team. We done a great job, and everybody at Penske and just, got a great motor, and as long as we pick up from practice, that's all we can ask for. I'm pretty happy with it.
And that's what they did. Currently on the pole, Jeremy Mayfield.
And as you can see, Darrell Waltrip is the slowest of the 5 cars that have run. 29.687 is the elapsed time, and you see the average speed there puts him in 5th position out of the 5 that have gone so far.
3-0. What a wicked fast lap. Tell us about it.
It was a great lap. I tell you what, again, we work our butts off here. I tell you what, we unloaded, this sucker was all over the racetrack. We changed the whole front setup on, we changed everything, put more gear to it, and the last run I was real happy with it. And I told Robin, I said, I can pick it up, I don't know how much. When Burton run at 84, I said, there's nobody's going to ever touch him. He was incredibly fast. But, man, the motor's making big-time horsepower, and the car handled great, and couldn't be happier. Everything's looking good right now. We're going to go back and get in the books and figure out what we're going to put for a setup in this thing with all this rain coming tomorrow.
Driver did a good job, too.
Say it again?
Driver did a pretty good job, too.
Nah, no, this guy, these team guys are the dudes. I'm taking a high road in that one.
Smart move, Rusty. Keep those crew guys pumped up.
What about this guy?
DW, his final qualifying effort here in Phoenix. Currently 32nd, 131.358, 27.406.
Not a great time for him, but for
car. I'm so excited about next year. I can't like describe it. I mean, to have a good sponsor like Kmart, to be with Travis and Carl with Car Owners, got a great group of guys, put good race cars together. I'm excited. I can't wait. And hopefully Sunday we can run all day, run up front, get a good finish. You know, we don't need to win the race. We need to run good and get the team pumped up for next year. I mean, we're going to run good next year, and I'm excited.
Your teammate for the weekend, Darrell Waltrip, on the clock right now.
Yeah, I tell you, it's it's all a little bittersweet for us to see Darrell go. I'm proud and honored to be the one to take his place. A lot of people have said, how are you going to feel if Darrell wash up shoes? And I said, you're not. You know, I'm not going to try. We're going to take those shoes. We're going to set them aside, and we're going to start fresh. And Darrell's going to be great for everybody being up in the booth. He's such an ambassador for our sport. I'm proud to be taking over for him.
All right, let's find out how he did. Thanks, Todd.
Not too good. 29.696 seconds with average speed 186, 692 miles per hour, just 34.